Henan Kava, the #1 spot for Pain Gaming. Carnage coming back out, looking for redemption from that 2v2 when, as the #3 man across from them, a pretty stacked King of the Hill roster, Vulcan, Air Surfer, and Razor.
Yeah, a little bit surprising here from Pain Gaming. They do go with all the veterans, and maybe that's the key word, is that they are veterans over Michifu, who actually has their best head-to-head record on their squad this season. But maybe the nerves and the bright lights might be a little bit much for him, so Henan Kava kicking things off. He is 4-4 against Vulcan. He's 4-7 on the season.
Vulcan immediately opens Witch in the back to the Goblin Cage. Vulcan struggled in head-to-head play this season, a 31% win rate, which compared to his previous seasons is just shocking.
Yeah, it's been really astounding, kind of the head-to-head play of ominously both the squads that are, you know, Immortals whose fate's in hand and Complexity who's out right now. And so much talent in head-to-head, but just not able to deliver. And that is a bummer of a mortar.
Doesn't even get a shot on tower, and Dark Goblin gets onto his first minute away. Vulcan ahead, but Henan Kava getting some work done.
And Archer's turned the wrong direction, so we should get a little bit of damage from those bats, but demands a snowball from Vulcan.
And Henan Kava just continuing to pressure the bridge. Those spears run right into a Valkyrie. Reaching the midway point, not much has changed.
That's a nice position for Henan Kava, that he can kind of pour it on, and even though those 2 elixir were wasted, he still had a nice elixir lead.
And high mortar in the center. Miner to the back, Spear Goblins turning away. And they will get on tower, force the snowball out. Snowball now. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, Henan Kava playing hyper aggressive, and it is paying off so far. Vulcan having a really hard time figuring out how to make his mortars matter.
Miner bats left-hand side. Mortar high. This time archers do turn towards the bats.
And Mega Knight takes one swing at the Witch and then turns around. And Vulcan saw that coming from a mile away, gets the Valkyrie up very high to deal with those wall breakers.
And Spears just far enough away to not get taken out by the Valkyrie. Wall breakers looking to get one on tower, and it does connect. Heading into sudden death overtime. 1073 on the right-hand side for Vulcan. 1662 for Henan Kava.
Barbarian sneaks around right in front. Keeps that Dark Goblin off the mortar, and can the Witch get one shot? No, she cannot.
And one connection left-hand side for Henan Kava. Vulcan, mortars high.
And this Goblin Cage has just been so difficult for Vulcan to figure out how to create a presence with that mortar, and you can see Henan Kava's miner play has just been stellar.
And split pigs.
Wow.
3-1.
So Vulcan maybe finally seeing an opening to bust out another win condition, and gets a little bit in, but not very much.
Of the 5 most popular mortar decks in the game right now, Andrew, this is, I believe, the 4th with these Royal Hogs. Of course, the 3 that are most popular above it are all mortar bait.
This is a very tough position for Vulcan to play out of. Now with only 261 on, he has to basically catch a miner every single time, and you think Henan Kava might start throwing miner snowballs, and there it is.
Miner on, snowball on, and that's going to be it. 13 HP. Henan Kava just has to cycle back around and take care of business.
Yeah, and with this deck, that's going to be very, very easy. There's 3. Now just need one more card, the bats, and snowball comes in for 4. Tower down.
And Payne is pumped up. Kava coming out and getting a big-time win in game number 1, sending Vulcan back to the bench.
Yeah, Vulcan sits down. Air Surfer is up next, and Payne Gaming feeling a little bit of a cushion now with that first game in hand. Obviously, Complexity does have that 2v2 set, but this is kind of where the wheels start to fall off.
Payne Gaming, fate in their hands. Kava trying to get centered, get ready. Up next, across from him, one of, without a doubt, unquestioned one of the best online players in Clash Royale. The question is, how does he translate that to the big stage? We'll see next against Kava.
And I think this is a great moment for him to do it. Not a lot of pressure on, so Air Surfer can sit back and feel maybe the comfort that he does at home, translate it here to the big stage in a big moment for Payne Gaming going up against Complexity.
Air Surfer has put together a number of sweeps. One against Dignitas last season, one against Energy this season. Certainly has the capability to get hot. The question is, how do you keep that consistent? And Kava maybe going back to a similar construction.
Yeah, it's the second time now we've seen those stab goblins. Actually, maybe third time we've seen the stab goblins this season.
Clash Royale should just go ahead and change the name from goblins to stab goblins.
Yeah, they really should be stab goblins. So Air Surfer looking like he's going to try out what just didn't really work out well for Vulcan.
And that balloon is going to get at least death damage and almost gets a connection as well. And there you go, Royal Hogs at the bridge, 3-1.
That one split is nice. Gets a lot of damage in on the right because of the focus on the left.
And Archers split to clean up the last bit of it as we approach the midway point of regulation. Things pretty much even, but Air Surfer does have dual lane pressure. And Kava going Balloon Valk with Executioner as well. So a lot of counter cards in Kava's deck as opposed to trying to be more pressure oriented.
Yeah, we'll see if that last card is a Tornado. Help pull this. Yep, there it is. That was a great moment to use it.
And Ice Spirit does distract the Mortar, and Miner goes in.
Nice zap there to get the Mortar back on the Miner.
But this Mortar will deliver at least one shot, depending on what Kava does, maybe a couple. And now Air Surfer just trying to put some pressure on that left-hand side, wipe off some of that support, get some tower damage in.
So now the defensive Mortar being played, one card already out for Kava. Gonna have to try to beat this cycle, but it's a really, really fast cycle as well on the other side of the board. So Mortar and Valkyrie and Snowball almost always gonna be in hand, and if they're not, there's always those pesky archers.
Yeah, lots of options for the balloon of Kava.
And Kava also doing a really good job of distracting the Mortar from taking out his best damage in the Executioner. I mean, obviously the balloon is the win condition, but you're talking DPS to play defense and clean up. It's all about that Executioner.
And now Kava in the lead, death damage doing its job, 1174 left-hand side. And take a look at that Ice Spirit play one more time, turning the Mortar away from the Executioner, as you mentioned, protecting that DPS.
And here we go. Get the Musketeer out of the way. Keep the Executioner alive and balloon opposite lane. I love it.
It was a nice tornado onto the Valkyrie and Executioner damage, but what does he have for this big hog push left-hand side?
Drops the Valkyrie right in it, but a balloon gets a big, big drop, and that zap should get the second one in. A very, very nice zap from Kava, who beats the cycle of the deck with Snowball Archer's Musketeer. Insane.
wow. Unbelievable, just wow. And you saw that last miner got picked up by skeletons. Air Surfer got a lot of the things right, but maybe went a little bit too heavy trying to find that open gap on the left-hand side. Royal Hogs Valkyrie met by a Valkyrie and then did not have what it took to stop the balloon on the right.
And here's the thing, those Royal Hogs, you get 4 of them on the tower. Yes, they do a lot of damage. Their attack speed is more medium and their hit per, I guess, snout bite, if you want to call it, whatever that is, not quite as much as a balloon drops. So Air Surfer goes for the kill. Hen and Kava capitalizes, and, well, let's look at that replay right now.
Jumping on in to the final moments of that game. And you see, first of all, this was a really nice play. Valkyrie high, and the Tornado pulls the Musketeer in, so Valk gets Musketeer and Mortar, and Executioner comes behind and cleans up the rest of it, and here we go with the push on the right-hand side.
Yeah, that exchange right there demands that Valkyrie comes down, so then Hen and Kava goes hard in the right-hand lane. You said it yourself, not a lot to respond, but that's okay. The Hogs aren't quite as brutal as the balloon. An excellent zap comes in, and as soon as that zap dropped, Vulcan knew it was going to be game over. So a commanding start for Complexity, now struggling here in King of the Hill.
Yeah, brilliant little sequence from Hen and Kava to clean things up, and now a guy who really has been overlooked a bit in head-to-head play, currently sitting at 5-3 on the season.
Yeah, and Razor on the other side of that up next for Complexity. He is 7-6 on the season, so one of the few players on Complexity with a positive win rate in head-to-head play here in the fall, and he's got to take down 3 players from Pain if they want to close out this match.
King Killer up next. Can he stuff the dreams of Pain Gaming? Let's go, game 3.
So here we are, Razor, the King Killer, up for Complexity, trying to close out Pain Gaming in just 2 sets, but Hen and Kava has been unstoppable today.
He really has been playing beautifully. That last game, the way he put together the final sequence, very, very pretty. Of course, he had a lot to answer for those Royal Hogs. Razor has put together 3 King of the Hill sweeps in his CRL career, which is what it would require to end this match in this set. Otherwise, we are going to the 1v1. And Lava Miner, and we'll see what Hen and Kava has in store. Feels with the Night Witch, well, Executioner will be very nice.
Yeah, Executioner going to be a great response to this Lava Hound, and even with the poison coming in, that Executioner should do its work. And a pretty nice zap there from Razor, recognizing that that was the only way he was going to get any damage in.
And it's Golem opposite lane for Hen and Kava.
And you got to ignore that miner.
And we will see what Razor's sitting on. Goblin Brawler does not join the Golem, instead goes useless to an already dead miner and wanders along to the other side. I mean, that Goblin Brawler is doing a lot to that tower, but really didn't do any of the things Hen and Kava wanted.
Yeah, and that poison going to be really, really nice, cleaning up those bats. Hen and Kava's Golem push not quite giving him what he needed, but he does take a lot out of that left-hand tower.
Baby Dragon surviving was massive for Hen and Kava, required the zap out of Razor, otherwise that would have been a pile of tower damage.
Now we'll see if Henan decides to go into the Lava Hound. He does not. He still goes opposite with the Golem, as he takes a huge breath on that blue tower.
Supports with the Night Witch, still has plenty for the Executioner left-hand side. And Brawler will distract the Baby Dragon, very helpful.
And a very nice NATO there coming in from Hen and Kava. Will the Executioner survive?
And it does. Perfect sequence for Hen and Kava, and now Razor is in a bit of trouble.
Yeah, he is in a world of trouble right now. The Golem blows up on the tower, but you have a very healthy Night Witch, Baby Dragon, and Executioner.
And Hanenkava chooses just to load up Executioner in support. Just one of those axes on the tower could mean the difference. A lightning comes in, Hanenkava does it. King of the Hill sweep to close out his season, and he sends Pain to the 1v1.
Pain refusing to go quietly into the night. They bounce back in King of the Hill. And now a man in Wen that was their closer in the King of